For UCP, we have 6 programs, and we focus on education training in that area. We have SciEd, and I wanted to particularly acknowledge Bernard Grant and Sarah Ruse for supporting our SOURCE program. And we have the COMET program. You have heard about all the great things. And I want to particularly acknowledge John Ogren, who came all the way from NOAA to support us. And we also have the GROW program, and I'm particularly appreciative of NASA, particularly Jack Kay, who founded the NASA program. And for CPAS, this has been an essential service, and we have a great partnership with the Water Center. I want to thank Tom Graziano and Ed Clark for the wonderful partnership we had. And also want to support, I wanted to acknowledge NASA and NSF and NIL for supporting our visiting scientist program internship, and those has been enormously valuable. I want to acknowledge NASA, NSF, and NOAA and Air Force for supporting the cosmic mission, and you heard a great talk from Eric. And this would not have been possible without NSF's leadership in getting us started back in 1992. And also wanted to thank Bernard Grant again for his excellent support for the Unidata, which, as you heard from Rich Clark, is very much appreciated by our university colleague. And I have been showing these slides talking about how UCP partnered with NCAR to broaden its impact. I also want to say that UCP program would not be where we are without having a national center next to us. And this has all been possible, meaningful. It's all because we have the national center that are doing a wide range of research from weather, climate, and space weather. For example, we did a cosmic mission. We can go across the street to talk with Bill Randall, to talk with Kevin Chambers, and this has been wonderful. And it's great to have the partnership with NCAR. And I want to say that it's been 25 years, and I'll say that this has been, of course, a great story, because it started with a few people that headed by Karen Sawyer, starting with the International Program Office back in 1981. Now we have 276 people with 118 people off-site. Of course, as Tom said, we have some people already working at the Water Center, and we have 158 people on site here. And looking back here, what is UCP? And I think we can summarize in a few words. UCP is a community hub for data, education, training, and science services. And we are very proud to be a partner to NCAR and our university members on research and services. And our goal here is to support the community. And we have been a partner to our federal sponsors in developing and supporting scientific programs, such as the water prediction. And we have been an entity, we work hard, try to preserve our core capability so that we can support and serve our community and our sponsor. And we, at Placewell, NCAR, and university research can help, we can help in them transition their research into operation. And we also have been an incubator for new science application and services, and we are not afraid to fail. And in fact, back in 1992, when we started on the Cosmic, we're not sure it's going to be working the way it will be. And I wanted to say here is that we also are an organization that provides education, training, and career opportunity for our next generation scientists. This is particularly through the CPAS program. And looking back here, it might be good for us to reflect a little bit about the key accomplishment of UCP as an organization. I think we are very proud that through the GROW program, we have engaged students and teachers in 117 countries. Recently, there have been we got contact by the Department of State. They have some money unspent because they didn't have to do the emergency evacuation, and they have money that they would like to contribute to mosquito education. And they find it's so easy to justify having UCAR being the sole source to work with them, because nobody would have that kind of connection to have that deep and broad connection to our international community. And with the service that provided through CPAS, we have becoming a very essential platform to support the community to advance the research, facilitate research to operation transition that are critical to our country and around the world. And MedEd started as a forecaster training facility, has now become a worldwide resources for education and training. I remember I was sitting in the executive board for CARMED, and Mark Higgins from UMISET, and he said that, well, the reason we keep on coming back to CARMED is because you got half million users of your MedEd. That's the kind of the depth and the breadth of connection you couldn't find anywhere else. And we, through the SOAR program, we're proud that we have provided support for 199 students from underrepresented background to enter and succeed in the graduate school. And they turn around, bring in this diversity, broaden the participation in our fields. And we have established the most robust and reliable data delivering system to support the research and education through Unidata. And we should all be very, very proud of the GPS radio quotation because we were very proud that we started with a proof of concept from 1992 all the way through the world's first radio quotation constellation. We are now moving to the Cosmic 2, and we actually also help facilitate the transition to operation and to commercialization. So looking to the future here, I'm not sure I have the crystal ball of where the program will be going. However, I think it's important for all of us, in the community, NCAR, and UCP, and all our sponsors here, looking to the next 5-10 years, we know that there will be a lot of changes coming our way. And what are they? You just for example, a few examples here. For example, it's big data, right? I was talking to my colleague, Joe Clem and Bill Scanrock, and one day they showed, Bill, I was trying to run the MPAS model, and I tried to run 3-kilometer grid. And it turned out that we have 3 million grid points along. So you're talking about different variables, you're talking about the higher, 100 vertical levels. You can figure out the amount of data that you're going to be having. So how do you handle all that data? You have to be bringing the analysis to the data instead of bringing the data back to do the analysis. So these are changing. And it's also, there's so much data, it's not possible that we put all the data in one place. You have to be going different places to do your research. We need to help facilitate that. Well, we also know that the millennials are coming to the workplace. These are the people who live their entire life on a phone. They order the pizza, buy the books, and do the shoppings, all on the phone. So they have a different lifestyle, they have different work style. Now the remote work is becoming a norm rather than just an exception. And the virtual meeting is becoming much more popular. And also like e-learning, 4D simulation, how do you use a game technique for learning? These are all coming to us, virtual reality. And also our fields is becoming much more interdisciplinary. If you want to study atmospheric science, just look at the atmosphere itself is not enough. You have to worry about interaction with land surface, the ocean, the ice. And as Eric just said, now the commercial weather data is coming our way. Why do I need to worry about that? Because UCP, UCAR here is to serve the community. We need to make sure those commercial data are available to support the research and education for our community, not just to be buying it. So with consideration of these changes, where should we be going? In our mind, what UCP is all about is community. We are here to support and to serve the community. Even though these factors be impacting us, but I believe our mission to serve the community will remain the same. So I have been working with our program director here. I've been thinking, where should we be going in terms of the future direction? In our opinion here, we need to be thinking that the education and training will be evolving. For example, we'll be focused on competency-based education and training, and we need to broaden it into Earth system science, and we need to entrain the next generation scientists into our fields by working on programs such as GLOBE. And we need to complement and support the educational effort at NCAR and our member university so that they can be reaching out to national and international audience. And we also need to shift our product and services to support something they call it experiential learning. And this is something that not only you learn, but you also practice, and you can learn more through doing it. And we also need to help support the next generation workforce, because the data, cybersecurity, and geospatial knowledge and technique are very important for our future science. We have to be doing that. In terms of our science support services, we see that we need to expand our services to the broader science, the Earth system science community, not just atmospheric science. And we already start doing that with working with the Water Center. And we also need to be continuing to expand our end-to-end research, support for research to application and operation. Point here is that the requirement to our community right now to bring the research to operation, the timescale has been, the expectation of the timescale has been considerably shortened. And we need to be providing that kind of a support so that we can accelerate that research to operation and research to application process. And we need to expand our tools and services so that we can provide cutting-edge science support and administrative support so that the more partnership can be developed. And for example, one example for that would have been, like, for example, the working with the Water Center, supporting their needs and supporting future direction. And having that good infrastructural research and administrative support makes life easier for our partner. And we also should be thinking about how we can engage and support the community by providing tailored services, like I say, for example, the community advisory committee to help community involved, engaged to shape the direction for our fields. I'm really happy that we are now working with the Water Center doing that, we should call it CACWP, the Community Advisory Committee for Water Prediction. And looking into the data services, we also need to recognize that with the change, we need to be expanding our data and analytical tools, not only for atmospheric science, not only for meteorology. We need to expand it into Earth system science. And we also need to realize that cloud computing is going to be becoming the mainstream. We need to be helping, making sure our community can have the tool so that they can do data approximate analysis. They can use the CloudForm model. They can visualize those data. They can share the data. They can do the research. And we also need to develop a web-based scientific workflow to make data-intensive research much easier to conduct and to share and to be more reproducible. In terms of what we do on the radio occultation, our view here is that we have started with a great cosmic mission, and we have developed a cosmic data analysis and archive center. We view that that'll be a great start so that we can evolve that into a GNSS. It's called Global Navigation Satellite System, because it's including but more than just the GPS. That include, for example, GLONASS and Galileo, and we should be evolving that center to support research, operation, and education. And it has been, as Eric commented, it's been a long road, 25 years, starting from the proof of concept of GPS map all the way now people are doing commercial. And so the radio occultation science has matured to a stage. I think, question here is what's next? And I think there's a lot of interesting technology challenges and opportunity also. Like, for example, we've been finding that the lower part of the troposphere, the bottom 5 kilometers, is really the most challenging for observation because a huge amount of variability in the water vapor, and that is very difficult for any kind of observing system, particularly when you talk about the ocean. So, well, we could actually potentially, for example, design beta antennas so that we can do beta sampling, sensing, the lower part of the troposphere. Another thing that we should also be doing is taking advantage of the reflected signal, the signal that bounces back from the ocean surface and from the land surface, so that we can use it, for example, for surface wind observation, for soil moisture measurement. So these are just some of the ideas we think that we should be going. And there's also another one, I call it, I see that the UCP should be an incubator of ideas to support the community. I purposely leave it blank because, in my opinion, UCP is a facility, an organization where we can try something new. In particular, we are looking to you as from the community. If you have something that you'd like to try out with us, we'll be more than happy to work with you. And at this time, I'd like to have our program director stand up, Mohan, Hannah, Bill, John, who else? And these, yeah. Anyway, you see them in pictures. I think they all are pretty relaxed. We're having a hike through the Rocky Mountain National Park. And I'm really proud of our program director. They all are entrepreneurs. They all have the can-do attitude. They really are great managers and leaders. And they have been leading us toward a great future. And we here is basically wanted to say that we want to work with you. And I want to thank you to be working with us. And going forward here, we see that there's a bright future for all of us. And the mission for UCP to serve the community will not be changed. And finally, I would like to thank all the speakers for this afternoon. It's been a serious, excellent talk. I want to thank our community, all of you, because you are the reason why we exist. And I want to thank for all our sponsors, because you supported our work. Your support and partnership has been greatly appreciated. And finally, I want to thank all our UCP staff. Because of your dedication, your hard work, that's what get us to where we are today. And thank you all. I hope you enjoyed a great reception. And as I said, David Fokker, the former director of Unidata and former director of NSDL, is going to be playing in the famous Fokker Jazz Trio. Thank you very much.